Hey world, it's being willing to come back to another video. I just want to say that happy to be back. I know I've been out a couple of weeks due to another strike on one of my videos. Of course, I was told that I violated YouTube's community guidelines, so I need to make sure I stay more vigilant on what I talk about, even though, family, the information that I always give in the garden to the family is information that I don't deem misinformation. I of course, do my research, so I know that any information that I'm bringing in the garden is information that I receive from research, either from those I'm talking about that come straight out their mouth, or come straight from the literature. All right, but I digress. Just good to be back. I miss you guys. Um, a lot of things have happened since I've been on last, and I will be starting a new platform on a different situation so that I can be able to express myself, because like I said, sometimes freedom of speech is misconstrued, and I think it's more you have the privilege to talk. Okay, speech comes with content, and if all content is scrutinized, uh, deemed inappropriate, categorized as misinformation, then that tells you that there is no such thing as freedom of speech. Okay, you have the privilege to talk. Unfortunately, that's kind of where we are right now. But I do want to say that for all my peoples that invested in Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin dropped like 20,000 points, and I'm gonna tell you this: I'm not a huge, advocate of cryptocurrency because it's decentralized, and being decentralized means that if I have a financial emergency, or to put it like this, it's supply and demand. And if, you know, certain merchants or, companies or whatnot are not accepting Bitcoin as forms of payment, then every time you have to try to you have to try to get that money out. Uh, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, they all took massive hits. But you got to ask yourself, these massive hits, it's unlike stock market hits, okay? Because for stock markets, bonds, real estate, the value goes down, but you still have intrinsic value in reference to, you have ownership into that company, i.e. your shares of stock. You still own the land, i.e. real estate, okay? And you still own that bond, i.e. interest rates dropping and going up and down, but you still going to receive a coupon check every month. And at the end of the maturity date, you're going to get your money back. That's not the case with cryptocurrency. And so until it becomes, and like I said, I'm not knocking it because there's a lot of it I don't understand, but what I do know is that it's not liquid enough for me, and I don't see the intrinsic value in it right now. Now, if, like I say, blockchain is something different, but cryptocurrency right now, family, is just something that if you're investing in it and you've seen what happened to Bitcoin these last couple of days, you should be kind of weary now. All right. But like at the same time, if you invested $1,500 in Bitcoin 10 years ago or whatever, and now, it's worth, this much money, can you get that money out? Okay. So, and also, who started Bitcoin? I mean, some cat names, what is it, Satoshi, uh, something, Yakamoto, a Japanese name of origin, but no one's ever seen them. And so it's like, I'm skeptical when it comes to that kind of stuff. All right? So I just wanted to kind of hit that because I didn't, like say, it was some family members out there that inquired about my mindset on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and I just want to say that right now it's not something that I'm really want to put a lot of my cash into. I mean, it just doesn't seem a viable option when it comes to the fact that the Federal Reserve doesn't recognize it, and it's a decentralized currency. Okay. Then I also, if you one of my family members asked me about my thoughts on the Constitution, right? And how in the Constitution, the black man is considered in the Constitution, 3/5 human. See, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to, misinformation. That was not the case. If you actually knew, the framework of the Constitution and what it meant when they even referred to the 3/5 situation. But it's all politics, okay? If you remember, the North and the South were divided. The South had slaves that they depended on for their economic survival. And then in the North, of course, there's more manufacturing industries and whatnot. And it came to a head because the Southern Democrats wanted to control, i.e. Congress, as well as the Supreme Court. How do you do that? By making sure that you have more congressmen and senators and Supreme Court justices in your favor. Just like now. I mean, if you look at the government now, if you've been paying attention, just in 2016, Trump was president from 2016 to 2020, right? And the power structure was basically the Republicans. And there was fights between the Republicans and the Democrats all day, every day. Now, there's been a power shift. Now the power is with the Democrats. You got a Democratic president, you got a Democratic Congress. I think it's a 50-50 on the Senate, right? And of course, the Supreme Court, is still kind of wavering. That's why they want to add more Supreme Court justices to the Supreme Court. It's all about power. Because remember, those who run Congress and the Supreme Court and the presidency can write laws, interpret laws, okay? And when you're able to do that, then you pretty much can dictate, how this economy going to work, how things are going to happen. So when you go back to the 1860s with this so-called 3/5 human notion, it wasn't what it was about. Down south, a lot of the people that were down south working as quote-unquote slaves, that's what we're doing now, working as slaves, they were not allowed to vote. They had no political power, no economic power at all. But the Southern Democrats that own these companies, that own these plantations, they wanted to recognize these individuals as individuals when it came to them being sent to Congress. You did? But what they did in Congress, or what they did up north, said, no. In the Constitution, they knew something like this was going to happen. That's why they said, no, in the North, if you was a free black person, you had the right to vote, and you were considered a citizen, so forth. Down south, you wasn't. And so with that being said, the Southern Democrats wanted to send those numbers of quote-unquote slaves to say, this is how many people we're representing. And if we got this many people we're representing, then that means we have more power. Well, they changed that and said, no, for every 5 slaves, we're going to count 3 of them. Because if we count all 5, then that's going to give the Southern Democrats way more power. And just imagine if they'd got all that power. Imagine what would happen to all the free, quote unquote, black people that was up north. Imagine the law. You think the Jim Crow laws were down just south. Jim Crow laws would have been nationwide if they would have allowed the Southern Democrats to count 5 slaves as 5 citizens when we couldn't even vote down here. So it wasn't the notion about, the black man was considered 3/5 human. No, that wasn't what it was about. 5 alleged black people were only counted 3 when it came to representatives. And I can dig that, because that would have gave these quote unquote Southern Democrats way more power, and y'all gonna use us to say, okay, they votes count, but then the votes don't count down south. So I think a historical, understanding will help you understand the things that are going on today. You did? I hope this helped. Like I say, family, I've been gone for a while due to my YouTube community guideline restrictions. Hopefully this don't get struck, because like I say, these are facts. You can look them up. There's a reason why in the Constitution they framed it that way. And In the meantime, between time, may the Most High decide to bring it joy. Love you guys, and Bean Willie's 85,000.